Hello, Pisces. So, this is your extended, and I'm really excited because, things got really interesting here with the cards that I'm seeing already. It's almost like this entire part of the extended is filling the gap actually between these two cards from the first part, right? The Queen of Wands that presented herself as inspiration or this spark of creativity, and the Six of Pentacles. It's almost like if in the first part this was almost like instantaneous, right? It's like when she shows up, you have the next piece of the puzzle that allows you to move, right? And to build this bridge over like this river to allow you to cross from one margin to another. But there is something about, yes, Pisces, because you are here in this physical plane, it's like you have the duty to make this manifest, right? You are responsible for the physical elements. They are responsible for like sending out the energy and bringing the inspiration to do so, right? To move you in the right direction. It's almost like they are coming through as like that whisper of truth. Actually, that was what I heard with this card that is opening up your reading here in the extended, Pisces. So with the Ace of Swords, it's almost like, that is the contrast between this opening card from the first part, which felt almost like not somebody calling you out, but like stopping you on your tracks. Like if you were thinking about like going anywhere else, it's almost like there was this concern, right? And this it's like stop where you are, right? Like a very firm voice, like an authority, like really really intending on stopping you, really. With this here, it's such a contrast because it's almost like now that you have met this one, it's almost like now that you can see this one among the forest of trees or the forest of buildings, it's like now that you can feel almost like this the subtlety of this other realm, but it's almost like a personified kind of way, or like an intimate kind of way. That's the better word. It's like an intimate kind of way. It's almost like she came just for you, right? Because there's something else that I forgot to mention in the first part. It's like whatever it was or whoever it was that was making its way through this Eight of Wands to cross this portal of time. It's like they knew they had a target, and the target was it's almost like it was guided by this original blueprint of the Wheel of Fortune, but it had like this correspondence to the Five of Pentacles. It's almost like this reflection from this higher realm, from this original blueprint to what is physically manifested, if it makes sense. So here, when it's like when you're able to see it, when you're able to perceive her among the sea of things that is in front of you, right? And you receive this piece that you were waiting for, it sounds very soothing and very quiet and very peaceful. It's almost like, if we think of the energy that is contained in the Queen of Wands, it can almost be like startling to the point that you can be overwhelmed and even like scared, right, of their presence. But it's like with this Ace of Swords, it's like the way that they are communicating or the way that they are inspiring you, Pisces, it's very gentle and very calming, and it feels like a whisper in your ear. Like it's almost like she's giving you this piece, which is very interesting indeed because of this next card. I was just amazed by these two cards. I mean, two aces, right? But after this whisper of truth is, whispered in your ear, it becomes something material, which is this, right? This is the bridge. Like, this is the piece that, like, you needed to leave this place and cross one margin to the other, like through this bridge, right? Because like this is it's like there is this free pass here, right? Whereas here there is no movement. So when this whisper of truth that is, you know, passed on to you by this Queen of Wands, by this guide, is like heard or is received, it's like you Pisces are able to materialize it, which is so gorgeous, because I feel like somehow this is the magic, right? This is, it's like it's manifestation, like happening in your eyes, like in front of you, in a way that, you know, it's just astonishing, maybe like making you speechless, or making you just like, it's just so incredible. I don't even know which word to say, because it's almost like I'm losing words, because it's like purely energetic, spiritual energy, and then suddenly it materializes, right? It's like really turning something into like gold, or, you know, seeing something materialize in front of your eyes, which is maybe shocking to some, right? But I feel like you Pisces, because you knew, it's like you knew that there was something to be received where you are. And so with this piece that is, you know, this truth that is being materialized for you, there is some sort of remembrance that is happening. It's like the gift that the Queen of Wands, that this guide is giving you with the Six of Wands. Well, remember, the piece that you're given is allowing you to build this bridge in the physical dimension, in this 3D, right? So it's something that has like physicality, it's tangible, it's like you can touch, you can walk over it. And I feel like with the Six of Cups, the true gift that is being materialized, right, in order to allow you to move, right, because like the go ahead signal is here, right, with the 2 sixes, but because this is coming from the water realm, it's like this is coming through as like, when you remember this, when you receive this piece, right, this whisper of truth, it's like you will never forget that this bridge is always there. It's like you will never forget all of this, right? Like the point of connection where these two realms meet. And this point of connection is like, that's the thing also. It's almost like once you built this bridge and you cross over, it's dematerialized. It's like it loses its form. It's like it's no longer there, like if we were to, you know, look for it physically, but it's still in your heart. It's almost like you will always know, you will always remember, and that is the true gift that you're being given, right? That is the true piece of truth that you're being whispered. It's like the point of connection where the two margins connect, right? The spirit realm and our realm. It's like it's always going to be in your heart. And that is the thing. Like that is a place where you can always go back if you wish to connect to this other side. But I feel like it's almost like when you know this, it's almost like you know, something very pure, something very spiritual that you just sense its presence suddenly materializes, but then it dematerializes and becomes something that is like imprinted in your soul, imprinted in your emotions, and it's like the bridge is still there even though you cannot see anymore. It's almost like it becomes visible for just a short amount of time, because the portal of time is like time sensitive, right? So it's not going to be open forever. It's almost like it's crucial that it happens in just that window. It's interesting how you were, you know, staying here looking outside of your window, and the window opens and this one shows up with exactly the piece of truth and the piece of, like, it's almost like proof that this happened, but then you don't need the proof anymore, because what you have, like the emotional experience, is good enough to like bridge this gap, to make this point of contact between the two margins, between the two sides of the veil. And I feel like this is, it's almost like an instantaneously like remembrance, right? It's almost like when you cross over the bridge, it's like you access the realm of this one, which feels like a very, well, it's the land of the original blueprint, right? It's like you cross over to the other side where this was created. And so here, this is when it's like, not only you remember how to cross over to the other side and remember like the point of access, right? So if you were staring outside of the window and, you know, not seeing anything different than the usual, right? It's like the buildings are still there, the houses are still there, the trees are still there, nothing much is happening, although I thought they would happen like, you know, faster, or something would come up like quicker than it did. But suddenly when the time is right and you see this thing coming from the woods, or, you know, just crossing the street, it's like it makes sense to you, because it's like they are, it's almost like they're showing themselves as something that is very visible, right? Maybe very tangible, but also like, it's like triggering this remembrance in your heart that is the bridge itself. Therefore, there is no need anymore for this thing, right? It's almost like this materialization or manifestation, it's just the trigger for this much more valuable kind of remembrance take shape. And this is what allows you to show up as the King of Swords, which is, it's like if you received a piece of truth or a whisper of truth from the Queen of Wands as this Ace of Swords, right? It's like the Ace of Swords is coming from the realm that is like the portal, right? The portal itself, right? It's like the veil. The veil itself is the swords here. So it's like a portion of the portal is given to you as a whisper of truth, and all of that is like collapsing into like this remembrance that is like making you, it's almost like all of these points, all of these, you know, parts of the crown of the King of Swords are the antenna. It's almost like when you cross this bridge to the side of the Wheel of Fortune, there's something about your antenna being like reignited, or, you know, turned on again, because you are on the other side. So there is no more veil. It's like everything is crystal clear, everything is very visible. And I feel like it's like once you do cross over, that is the interesting thing, because we have the Magician. And this Magician is greeting you on the other side. It's almost like they are, well, the word that I just heard is so interesting. I heard they are the clock masters or the time masters, but I heard clock masters because, you know, this is almost looking like a very weird clock face. So, well, yeah, the Wheel of Fortune is the portal of time, but it doesn't open, or it doesn't, you know, click until it's the right time. So perhaps it's not like a, you know, usual type of clock, right? It's like this cosmic type of clock. So the only ones who know like the real way to work the clock is the Magician. So this Magician is like, they are, it's almost like I'm seeing the Alice in Wonderland movie where, I don't remember, it's the what is the name of the character played by Johnny Depp? The one with the hat. Is the hat maker? I don't know. But it's like giving me that type of like character, right? It's almost like very, very strange, but very compelling, and, you know, just weird, but also like you cannot, you know, move away from them. And because Pisces, you're coming through as like, you know, it's almost like remembering everything all at once, right? Because now you're on the other side of the veil, you have crossed this bridge to the other side of the river. So now you are back to, well, to the domain where you came from originally, right? And so it's like this creator of the blueprint, or the time master, or the clock master, it's like they are here to show you around in a sense, but in a way that it's like, it's not that they just want to, you know, give you a little tour. It's like they are specifically here to take you to a specific person, but it's not a person. I'm going to explain it. So this magician is being followed by the Queen of Swords. Look how interesting. Remember, the one who visited you here on this realm, right? But it's almost like it's almost like they needed a lot of strength, a lot of energy, a lot of maybe friction to become visible in this side of things, right? So they came in as the Queen of Wands, as very energetic, very potent. But once you cross over with the piece that was given by the Queen of Wands, it's like you are now able, Pisces, to see the true nature, like the essence of the one who helped you in the first place. So as I said, they were coming through as a guide, right? Mainly. Yeah, I'm just wondering if they are, you know, they could come as someone in your life. I really doubt that, because it's not really what I'm receiving. I'm really seeing it as like, it's almost like an expression of spirit, but it is a little bit like personified just so that you can recognize it, right? Or it's like it's beyond anything. Well, even though, yes, it was among the trees or among the buildings or among, you know, the landscape that you could see through your window, it's like it's part of it, but it's something else because it's the queen. So it makes its way through the realm that you know, but it's other than that. And so it's almost like it is personified just so you know to recognize it, just so you know that you can see it, right? To become visible to you, Pisces. So, but when you go to the other side, to the realm of the magician, to the realm of this original blueprint, it's like they're there to show you to this one. It's almost like the magician is going to introduce you to the true essence of who helped you, or who was there to guide you in the first place. But because you're both coming through as the King and Queen of Swords, it's like, if the magician is the time master, it's almost like both of you, Pisces, are like also masters of this domain, of this other side of the veil. It's like, it's almost like you're part of this ether, right? It's like you are, well, that is so interesting. Yesterday's reading, well, not yesterday's, what was it yesterday's? I can remember. It was the Aquarius reading that was becoming the wind. And so it's almost like becoming part of the wind too. It's like you recognizing yourself because you now remember who you truly are, and you can access this domain that is other, right? It's like you recognize that the one that you felt like it was really, you know, highlighted from the rest of the normal environment that you're in, it's like they're not different than you. It's like it's almost like they are a counterpart to you, or they are just a complement to your nature, right? But they never, it's like, I feel like it's like they only use the energetic strength that they have in their essence when their presence is needed here. Because if it wasn't needed, it's like they wouldn't leave this realm. It's almost like this is their natural habitat, as is yours, right? But it's almost like it's almost like that is the perfect combination of the two margins. It's like you are acting as the other margin. It's like you have to be this physical manifestation in order to like make way for this one to like be there on the other side, right? It's like you are establishing, like you are the two margins, but you are remembering where you're coming from in a sense, which is so beautiful, because I feel like somehow it's like it comes in as like finding your home, or finding the place that you belong, or finding the place that you can understand why you are on the other side of the margin, meaning why you are here in this 3D, right? It's like, and you know, again, it's like you will never ever forget the point of connection, the point of bridging the gap. It's like you will always remember in your heart that this bridge is there whenever you want to connect with this one. And because this is coming at the end, the Nine of Pentacles, it's like both of these guides, right? The Time Master and your counterpart or your guide that, you know, showed their face first and allowed you into this other domain, that it's like, it's almost like you know that you belong to this domain, even though there is logic and there is purpose and there is like a blueprint designed for you to be here in this other side of the margin, right? In this physical manifestation that is like very, like it's very enriching. It's how the Nine of Pentacles is coming through. And it's almost like, yes, they greeted you. They're happy that you now remember, that you now can see them and can sense like how much you are like the same, and how you are coming from, you know, maybe the same oversoul or the same, you know, spirit. But it's like they are reminding you that your contribution is to be on the other side. It's to be on the pentacle sides. It's to be in this reality, right? It's not that you're losing this once. That is the thing, right? It's like with the Six of Cups, it's like it's almost like if we think of, you know, the curtain of a show, right? Or a stage that the magician is presenting. It's like they're the ones opening up the curtain. So instead of something that is rigid and immovable, it's like now it's just a curtain that whenever you want to cross over, it is there and you can have access. You know, you don't need this one to, you know, cross over so many obstacles and make their way through something that is not entirely their nature to become visible by you. And then it's like you will always be able to connect directly to the source of their essence, to the realm that they come from originally, like the original place of where this creator created this blueprint, right, that you're experiencing in the 3D. And because, you know, when they showed up here with the Queen of Wands giving you the next piece of the puzzle, right, just to bridge this gap, it's like to really build something that was going to lead you essentially to like the place of reconnection to them, right? So here it's like they're sending you back, but with much more pieces. It's like now you don't have just 6 pieces. Now you have 9. So it's almost like now you have like a longer path. Like, oh yeah, okay. So I was just reminded of the word that came through. It's like now you're being given this paved path. So it's like not only you're going to have like this go ahead signal, right, that you can cross the margin. It's like you can now build this new path. You can pave this way forward because you know that this connection is always going to be there, but the purpose of you being here, it's like exactly to be the one on the other side, Pisces, to build the bridge, right? I hope it makes sense. So now let's see what the astrological runes want to add as a final guidance. Okay, so we have Scorpio. Actually, you know, the only message that was coming through, I know Scorpio is a fellow water sign, so there is this point of connection, but it's also reminding me of the river being the obstacle. And you know, sometimes with Scorpio, things that seemingly are easy or are okay and serene, they can become very intense and they can transform very rapidly, right? So it's almost like the speed that was, you know, first presumed with this Eight of Wands could turn into something that is very intense, like an obstacle course, right? And this is what I feel like it was, maybe not fooling you, but just preventing you from really like understanding that this crucial time thing is part of it. It's like it's part of the design. But also, okay, so this is one part of the message, right? Being the river and being able to cross over the river. No matter like how intense and troubled the water is, it's like you are the bridge. But the thing about Scorpio is that the nature of Scorpios is like very, very deep and very profound. And so like if you see something on the surface, it could give you the apparent perception that is something, but then when you really go deep, it's like you find another side of Scorpio that can be very scary or can be very, you know, beautiful, right? So I feel like this is almost like saying, if this is too out there, Pisces, which I doubt, you know, because Pisces is really, you know, connected to the stars and connected to, you know, the imaginal realm. But if this is too intense, if this is too troublesome, or this is too scary, it's like, go deeper, right? Allow this thing to show itself to you in a way that, yes, it will bring transformation, because it's like you are going to access this other side of the veil, right? It's almost like you're going to travel back in time or forward in time or go wherever in time you want to go, right? Because, you know, it's almost like this place is timeless. So where we are now is like the place of, you know, the density. So seeing beyond the density is what is going to allow you to see what was already there, right? Wanting to guide you from, you know, your own place, your own domain, your own environment. So go deeper, and like, it's almost like, see how profoundly this river is wanting to give you something more than just be an obstacle, right? Okay, I hope this was helpful and insightful for you. This was very, very intense, Pisces. So I hope this was, you know, just good and, you know, useful for you. Yeah. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.